All right, welcome back, guys, to another Saturday edition. We're back with a returning mystery game. It's Pochi and Nyaa tonight, and I have on me with commentary a new-ish face. Color Thief is going to be back in the up tonight. We ended up having a person or two drop last second, so taking the opportunity to round robin it just to get as much mileage out of the chance to showcase this game because it does have some cool hot nonsense to it. But without much further ado, we're going to have our first stream match be Suzu and Blaster the Fox. So I'm going to go ahead and ping that in the server as well. And let's just get right into it.
I'm pretty hyped to see what this game looks like. This I would describe Pochi Nyaa as my favorite game I've never played, maybe.
I mean, it's not wrong. The
You
biggest.
know, if there was ever a game, you just judge it a book by its cover kind of thing and be like, I really want to read that. What do I know about this game? Well, I know it's got Moonitani behind it.
Mm,
And honestly, immediately sold. I will pay attention to it.
I think, like, oh, we had. Oh, Suzu, I guess, had to restart, it seems like. Or tapped out Lottie. Not entirely sure what's going on. I feel like the biggest thing, especially coming in from like people that are super into Puyo and like want to go that extra step deeper, is you have to abandon a lot of preconceived notions about what Puyo is supposed to be to really enjoy this game. Because it is not a chaining game primarily, and the sooner you make peace with that, the sooner you're going to have more fun. Seems like they're both in looking to play finally. And we're getting something in the Discord. Let's see what's up. It's almost a curse at this point that like no stream is going to start perfectly right with Puzzle Wednesdays. I think my favorite is still Puyo Fever or Puyo Champion Switch just literally dying on startup last couple weeks ago.
Yeah, my favorite was Landmaker Pack Attack Edition.
Oh, that was before like we really learned the Taito F3 was cursed. There, so like we've run Puzzle Bobble 4 a handful of times, which I believe is the same family of boards, right?
Yes.
And the worst that it would do is like it would have some unexplained disconnects, but like nothing particularly off-brand performance-wise to, you know, tip tip you off that there's a problem.
Yeah, you've almost done a full circuit of that hardware. Um, it's like Puzzle Bobble 2, 2X, 3, 4, but might as well just jump straight to 4, I guess. And then Cleopatra Fortune, Landmaker.
Seems like we're having some issues with Suzu's, and so in interest of actually making sure we populate stream immediately, we're going to switch what we're doing for our first. I'm going to play against Lee.
Nice. Okay, so up
Sorry,
first we've got Juicy with Yanokuri.
I'm sorry to have to take the training wheels off for your first round, but I'm sure you'll do fine.
All right, get ready for some incredible commentary. Having taken my role as commentator for a Mystery Puzzle Wednesday Saturday edition extremely seriously, I went through to extreme lengths to prepare for this event. I played one credit of Pochi and Nyaa, and let's hope that's enough to get the gist. But I would like to brag that I did not mash the start button through the tutorial. I did see a full description of the central gameplay mechanics, so I feel well equipped to give commentary here.
You
Are you
know,
guys having trouble matching up, or?
um, I'm not. Lee is not responding. boy, gonna be one of those, huh?
Maybe that was Suzu's problem. You should just fight Suzu.
None of the first round queued matches can just happen, can they?
Oh no, I see Lee's responding uh, in the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully she'll be there in a moment. We were ahead of schedule anyway, so we're just on schedule now.
I mean, it's true. Technically 2 minutes into starting time now. Makes you feel a little bit better about it, right?
Yeah. So I feel a lot of pressure entering this tournament this week, as the only non-American.
Oh
I kind
no.
of have to represent the entire rest of the world, not just Canada, but the entire rest of the world has to put their faith in me.
You're representing an entire country. I mean, if we didn't
Yeah.
have popcorn X at last second, they would have represented all of Turkey, which, bless the fact that they even tried to stay up this late. Okay, we finally got a challenge accepted. Let's go.
Awesome.
Oh, dang. Already in. That's quick.
Okay, player one side we got Juicy and Lee's on player two side.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for some hot dog cat action.
Is that supposed to be a pun?
That's just the name of the game, isn't it?
Hot.
Onomatopoeia for like dogs barking or something and
Yeah.
cats meowing. Yeah. Okay. So if anyone in this tournament knows what they're doing, I'm willing to bet Juicy is one of those people. So we can see him starting with a what looks to be a green fork build on the right. Both players look like they are using green as their primary color. The central gameplay mechanic here being you want clears, and then you kind of have a crash gem like thing. You can press a button to change your piece to be a crash gem, kind of on demand. And when you clear stuff, the path that it takes, the longer that path is, the more garbage you will send. And not only that, but if your path forks, then like all the little dead ends of your path. So all the even like a fork will make two dead ends, and you can have multiple forks. They all add to the garbage. So you see, Lee just had a giant fork pattern and basically one hit KO'd. Oh no, that was Juicy. Juicy one hit KO'd Lee. Um, so round two. Looks like both players are going green. I don't know if I'm missing something and maybe green's just more common or if it's just random that they both chose green twice in a row. But actually, Lee might be pivoting to orange yellow. Juicy's got a big hit lined up, but Lee maybe has two hits lined up. So Lee can maybe counter the first hit and then go in for the kill after? I don't know. Juicy's kind of getting close to full board there. Yeah, he chooses to ignite. 70 damage, largely countered, but that's a lot of cats. I don't think Lee can handle that. Too many kitties. First point, Juicy. Okay, we got a character swap. Or maybe it's the same person. So it seems like the common strategy is to build two forked columns, centering them in column 2 and column 6. Though it doesn't seem to be panning out that way this credit. Juicy is forking stuff right against the wall. Juicy goes in with a little poke, a few cats on screen, and Lee choosing to counter. Um, but after that exchange, I don't know, Juicy's got quite a lot of ammunition still on the screen, so we'll see. If Lee can get a bunch of blues, she might be able to find some extra damage to Spike. But Juicy's green doesn't have a nice spawn point. Like some of these forks are way too long, and that's going to eat into the damage output.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Lee's going in with another poke, and it was enough to just kill him. So Juicy starting some blue forks in column 3, Lee doing blue forks in column 2. Lee has a lot of options there with the empty space to start a second formation, whereas Juicy's kind of all in on blue. So if Juicy's blue attack, eventual blue attack, doesn't actually kill Lee, Lee might have enough ammo to counter. Lee building a bit of a chain there. Interesting. I hear that they're not very important in this game, and we see it certainly didn't poke for a lot of damage there. Oh no. Juicy attacked and he timed it in a way that Lee didn't have a blue piece in the active or next queue. So the trigger was unable to be found. These well, they're not chain attacks, but whatever. These puzzle attacks happen very, very fast. You don't have a huge amount of time to react to any sort of attack. Both players going red, but that harass actually effective at kind of shutting out Lee's red formation. Twice in a row. That's just nasty. Oh my god. And I didn't know this mechanic, but apparently if you leave a trigger on the board long enough, it turns into garbage.
Mm-hmm.
So that attack from Juicy did damage, right? But this time, Lee's formation is pretty wide open still. So things are looking okay. But now it's buried. So unlike the one-hit KOs that we saw earlier, it looks like this is just kind of a slow and painful death that the players are giving each other. Whew. That is point for Juicy.
And that is set. All right. So, yeah, honestly, a lot of this is coming down to once you have your move in place, you're going to be eyeballing your own RNG as well as your opponents and trying to either poke them into like not being able to use what they're looking for, or just if there's a very obvious gap, exploit the hell out of that.
So I'll just pause us now for a moment before we jump into the next game. I see a good comment from Suzu here. The Puzzle Wednesday's right over the next queue for this game.
Let
So
me
if we could
fix
adjust
that.
the layout. Yeah.
centered. Yeah, big oops. I did not get the chance to see. Sometimes I have to shift it around depending on game's next positioning. Okay. Yep. That is kind of crucial. Big oops. So let's see if we got. Looks like I think Suzu should be good. So we're going to go back and do the Suzu and Blaster the Fox. Presuming that they should be good to go now.
Cool.
Okay. But yeah, no, we definitely dropped down to only like 15 matches for stream, so may as well make the most of them. We got a little time to burn. And they are in it. Cool.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's me. Lee didn't seem out of her element to me. She knew what she was doing. She had lots of like forks
No,
getting
Lee
built and stuff.
Lee knows this game.
Yeah. Or maybe it's a reference. She was playing the dog. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Dog. Is that player one, player two hard coded to animal, or is that character based?
It is hard coded to player side.
Okay. Next time I think it's only fair. Lee should get to challenge people to be the cat.
No. Or just change your tag. Pochi Lee.
Lee.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So the match is underway here. It's Suzu on the left, Blaster on the right.
Going for a chain poke on that. Both seem to have a good idea of how this works so far. I know Suzu's gotten a little practice from one of the characters in cross streams being represented. Oh my gosh, that was a really smart dig.
Yeah, I was like, I remember you mentioning that garbage output is really low in the early game, but that was a very heavy hit from Suzu, and then Blaster hit really heavy back as well. So
I guess when you take it into consideration for like what Puyo has always done from day one, this is a low damage game in comparison. Oh, we got a disconnect.
Oh no. That was a good exchange too.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, Suzu is out of her own game. That's certainly an image.
That's weird. This is like a Neo Geo game, which is pretty like rock solid on
It-
Fightcade usually.
I think she's been having some issues with her Ethernet setup recently. Might need to buy a new cord. But we're gonna try and make it through this bracket. So it looks like they're back up. Nope. Wait, they're not.
Oh hey, we got Struggle Meet in chat. How's it going? Good. Always nice to see a new face. Yeah. Oh, I read the Discord Struggle Meet. I know you're also known as Bank.
It's true. Okay.
The question: how come you're not in bracket Struggle Meet? I've literally played one credit of this game. You have no excuse. 300 plus ping. You'd be surprised. It still like sort of works. 300's about the limit, but it still sort of works.
Let's see what happened with the Suzu match here.
Yeah, I'm getting like a black screen.
Yeah, X out of it. That was a disconnect.
Yeah, and it's still just black.
Okay. They're both out of it. Ethernet came out of laptop. Might be. So I guess it's between them on what they want to do for round one on that. We do have a clear situation at fault here, but also for like a 6-person round robin, there's a lot that can just Be let slide. Okay, we're in. 70 plus credits. Got it. Cool. Why are we doing this?
They're waiting for stream.
That's fair. This actually has like multiple layers of menus before we even like hop into it, so it strikes me as kind of a non-issue. Uh,
Oh, no, one player. Oh, and then they quit out instead of pressing F3 to reset.
let's
It's a
go.
hot tip. If if you accidentally need to reset into the main menu, you can just press F3.
Except in ranked now. I'm good with the resetting match. Okay, yeah, but they're gonna take from the top.
Okay, let's give that another shot.
Alright, they're back in it.
Yo, Infinite Unlimited, if you can't get Fight K2 to work, if you pop into the Puzzle Wednesday Discord, then I'm sure one of our friendly Discord members can help you get set up.
She's already in there. Um,
Infinite Unlimited?
yeah, no, she was from Tampa days,
Okay.
like in-person locals. All right,
Okay.
couple of bumpy starts here, but looking like things are underway.
Are they imitating each other on purpose? No. Okay,
No.
they've diverged.
It is
That's
fun to
weird.
see how long that can go sometimes.
Yeah, well, you expect it with two players who really know a game when like the best move is like a little bit narrow, but when you're new to a game, that's not the case, right? Like you don't know what the best move is. So, see, Suzu going in with the poke, 8. So it's like okay, it's a blanket cover. That's kind of a decent threshold for early damage. Oh
Okay.
no. Dang, these players are so good together too. I was looking forward to this match, but it's certainly having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, we're gonna just have to move on from that one for right now. Apologies to both of you, but we do have to work through our stream tonight. Okay. So, for our last of round ones, I'm gonna actually have you play against AE. And this
Like
is
myself?
yeah, huh?
By you mean me?
Yes.
Oh my God!
Good.
For my first match, you want me to play against top seed?
Yeah, good luck.
This this is cruel and unusual punishment, and I will be reporting it to the Puzzle Wednesday
Admin, gotcha.
Better Business, Better Puzzling Bureau.
All right, no, they will. I'm sure they will receive your complaint.
Oh wait, Suzu and Blaster started up one last time. Do we want to see if they can actually connect here, or are we just moving on?
Last time,
Okay.
if we get a third strike here, it's over.
31 credits. They're loaded and ready to go.
But dang, this is a thing, huh?
Mm-hmm. The Suzu has a lot of color options open. I'm liking this pattern. She can pivot into whatever the RNG decides to give her. Seems to have like 3 colors on the go somehow. I don't know how that's possible, but I'm impressed. Blaster with a very powerful green formation. And a good blue backup.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But like,
that rush.
not responding to this or any sort of attacks under any sort of circumstances can be pretty detrimental to your health. That wasn't even like anywhere near the higher end of damage output. Get a slight conflict on triggers, and we're actually having a back and forth trade. That's
Oh, wow. Wow.
okay.
Was that a perfect cancel?
Yeah, huh? That's not a thing that happens. Not usually. Alright. So really the worst thing you can do is tend to like puzzle fighter bunch things up together because it absolutely messes with your higher damage potential.
Blaster just holding on for dear life with Suzu digging for that final killing blow.
Yeah. Ideally, it should be those blues there. Um,
Yeah, but she needs to dig them, right?
can't quite. Oh, we have the moves to chain into it. Potentially. There we. Nope. Took too long.
Oh my god, no. Well, can't complain with the tension here. There's definitely a lot of exchanges back and forth. Blaster coming back from near death.
Get Suzu new Ethernet GoFundMe.
I donate to that.
I mean, yeah. Everyone deserves better Ethernet. Alright. There's no bigger max move on Suzu's side there, so we're gonna have to do some real tactical. Up. Gets a carpet clear.
Interesting. That chain didn't seem to scale the damage output much, if at all.
Generally shouldn't. A lot of chaining is just utility sake.
See these sandwich chain formations? Like, Suzu's playing like several steps ahead. Nice. Tying up the set here. I'm glad the connection issues got sorted out. The more I can watch people who maybe know what they're doing, certainly a lot more than I do, the more likely I am to not just completely choke.
But yeah, no, there's honestly a pretty good understanding of the back and forth of this game on both players' side.
Mm-hmm. That's for a mystery game. It's more than I was expecting.
Yeah, huh?
Have you run this in the past?
Yes. A few times back when like Fight K2 was still in its beta.
Okay.
I know Oz really likes it. AE likes the game a lot, but it's still mostly new faces for this tonight. So to see like even the unknowns have a good idea of what's going on, that's really cool. Only real downside for Suzu's down stack is like there's not a lot to dig down to.
Into yeah.
At this
just,
point, like you might have a better argument for just trying to build something mid-board. But we're seeing a lot of small pokes here. Like, if anything, she should just start fishing out mid-board T-shapes. The only thing that looks sort of potential there is like, if we pop the greens, now
okay,
the red can be extended.
Something's happening with these yellows now.
Okay, yeah, no, it looks like
Maybe.
she's feeling confident enough to start poking back.
Okay. I mean, that was something, but then...
It's just not enough in the scheme of, like, being this deep into disadvantage.
And point to Blaster. Very cool. I'm excited that two people know what they're doing a little bit. That's what I want to see. So are there any character-based differences in this game?
Nuh-uh.
None. Not piece sets, not abilities or anything. Well, it looks like there are no real abilities.
Like,
which is the same.
I feel like early aughts, late 90s was the big explosion of here's character choice in puzzle games mattering. I know it started to become a puzzle bobbleism around like 4. Fever was, I feel like, probably the most successful take on the idea. Puzzle Fighter came out. So we're just right around the area. Yeah, magical drop. Blaster built tall enough to actually be able to counter most of that hit. Only thing that's kind of a little problematic is how those greens are stacked. Even if he gets down to them, that's still supremely kneecapped for like how much damage something that much resources should deal.
Oh,
Yeah, that's only a 42. It's still enough in the context of this, but provided Suzu can actually get back down to her green structure,
I think I might be living in the future.
big provided, yeah, a little bit. That's just kind of how it's kind of how it is when you're the one running stream. My replay's encoded and played back a little bit slower for it.
So strong red and yellow formation on Suzu's side. She's choosing to cash it in with a counter. It's mostly tanked. Both colors are still accessible here. The game seems to specifically reward crosses. Is there something going on there with that? Do you know?
I don't believe it has any actual damage boost to my knowledge. Could be wrong.
Maybe a scoring boost in single player? I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems weird to just sort of point out to the player this is a cross.
I mean, it is an efficient way to split. You can get double crosses as well, but like it's more acknowledging that this is a built-in modifier point than anything else. Plus, also sometimes you just need to know that this is a T.
Oh man, Blaster's under some pressure here. Suzu's going in for the kill. There, 40. That's it.
Uh huh.
Ooh. Game 3.
Do I need to make this as a T a channel command? I should.
This is a T.
I suddenly have Puyo Tetris jokes coming to mind.
I'm picturing French absurdist art, you know, like ceci n'est pas une pipe, but like this is a tea. It's just like a cup of tea.
Crosses don't affect gameplay. I mean, any split is just another doubling on your next tally count, so they're inherently useful, but like, there's not a hidden bonus behind it.
You know, I find how different this game is from Puyo very refreshing.
Whoa, hey, you can't make chains, that's illegal. Okay. Suzu kind of had a lead, but jeez, digging back down to those reds is just kind of a tall ask at this point. But if she's going to actually stay in this set, has to happen. And that's going to be enough. Blaster taking it 2-0.
Wow. Well, that was 2-0, but it was a close 2-0. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh, we all know the close 2-0. Why is it always telling players to hurry up? That's the margin time. Just, you know, hurry up. Alright, go ahead and queue yourself up with a...
Oh god, okay.
Look, just rip the band-aid off now. Everything after this is going to be significantly better for you. WarioWare voice hurry up? Yeah, no, that... No. They used the Wario Land 4 voice samples in WarioWare. Can't let something good like that go to waste. Okay. Yeah, no. They used a lot of land assets in the first WarioWare. Did you send challenge?
Yep,
Okay.
waiting.
Now we wait.
I think Kaon's using the old Goaty Discord.
Uh oh gosh, I haven't thought about that
It's
in
funny,
a while.
but it's cool. I figured it out.
Cool,
I did the
appreciated.
ping. Did the ping, did the thing, waiting for my match. Okay, while we're waiting,
Yes.
assuming I have approximately 10 seconds to prep me and turn me into the ultimate Pochi and Nyaa fighting machine, what
Okay.
is your advice to me? 10
Build
seconds.
build tall. Build tall, build tall, build uneven. Whatever allows you to survive tanking hits.
Okay, good.
And build your right wall just tall. That is the proest of strats.
How do you die? What columns?
Uh I think it's actually marked. I don't know why I'm blanking on this right now. But you'll kneecap yourself a little bit in terms of build flexibility by building tall, but not
Hmm.
not having to dig through the entire rest of the round. So worth it. 100% worth
Okay.
it.
Yeah, that sounds like great advice. I think I'm gonna try going for a tall, forky rush and see what happens.
All right.
Still waiting on Aeon. I don't know how long we wait, but it would be humorous if I can win by default somehow. Uh, Liberating top seed and a very impressive default win.
I guess we can put some AE matches in the back burner. Momentum's starting off strong tonight. I'm also not going to DQ anyone because round robin. I'm picking some of these at kind of random. So
Exactly. Yeah, that is true.
I can't be like, oh, you're not on time for thing because no, not really. I am going to shift though since it doesn't seem like we're getting a response yet. So I'm going to put Suzu back in the hot seat. We're going to have her and Nyako Lee do their match.
Oh, are we going through these in book reading order?
Kind of.
I feel bad for pinging me on this way. If they accept my challenge, should I just do it off stream, or or do we want to
Oh,
capture my horrible, horrible defeat?
I think we want to see that in
Immortalize them
HD.
in the
Yeah,
internet.
exactly. Just take him to tap after this. All right. Yep. We're gonna have Suzu and Nyako Lee up then.
Sweet. Suzu, oh, Suzu totally BM'd Lee by challenging Lee and thus denying her the cat choice.
Oh, I mean, you're not wrong.
Okay. Suzu coming out strong, playing very fast.
I
Both
already
players
like a
using green.
little bit of Suzu's stack choices just out of efficiency. Like everything's kind of you're gonna see that hatch shape constantly, but to know when to plug up uh, your sides with filler material, essentially, is kind of important.
Hmm.
The most invaluable piece you'll get in RNG is always the double of a single color, just because it fills in T and cross shapes immediately
Hmm.
without having to worry about your discards at all.
So Lee was more dedicated to that tall formation than Suzu was.
Yeah. The red counter's only gonna
Ooh.
stave off like a third of that attack, leaving her at half board. She can still access the greens with a little bit of a good dig. We just need one more good clear. No.
Ooh. It had to land there, didn't it?
Always kind of like that, isn't it? And there's the follow up into a 2-chain. Gonna be
Oof.
plenty.
Okay, Anne's here. Do you want me to play off stream, or do you want me to tell him that we'll be on in a moment?
Uh, I'm gonna leave that to you and how much you want to preserve your ego on this game.
Okay, I'll just get it out of the way. We've had the schedule set back a little bit for technical difficulties, so
Fair enough. Okay, so we're seeing basically a mirror path here. Suzu's just a little bit more efficient with her speed. Um, that blue shape is now blocked off. Lee has a little bit of a dig plan here, and actually might be able to get back to it. Needs to clear that blue crash gem like now because it's going to convert into damage, and we're back to 2 layers of being blocked off. So the entire time that Lee has been fighting just to get back to her starting move, Suzu has something kill potential let up. There's a follow-up. Few precious spaces left. We're not doing a lot of dig chaining right now. There it is. Point one Suzu. Hey Rodney. We had a couple bumps in the start of it, but we're starting to get further underway with Pochi Nyaa round robin. Lee kind of fiddling around with a single piece there on right wall. A little bit curious. I'm not used to her second guessing moves this much. Finally, a little bit in head in terms of like a singular strong attack, given with the yellows. Potentially more. And just gonna take that hit raw. Small counter, still gonna be a carpet. Chains do not do much beyond utility to dig down to your original attack. What's with the EX move animation? It's just still look classy. Hits that I believe like 30 or bigger cause that. Okay, we're seeing a little bit of work back down on Suzu's end. Detonators do turn back into garbage if they're not used in like 4 turns. Wisely, Pochi asks Suzu. But kind of like Puzzle Fighter, moves result almost instantaneously. The better you get at this, the more you're going to be screen watching, doing pokes to render certain pieces in person's queue useless, and really be screen watching your opponent's next queue as well as your own. We're seeing Suzu make a couple more optimal choices in her pathing than Lee, but this is probably the most even set we've had so far. Another 2-chain poke. And Suzu without room to respond, we're going to have to dig down in column 7. Actually, not that tough a call, it looks like. Almost there. And gonna 2-chain down her right wall. Lee finally getting off. Not quite a killer attack. Gonna actually lose that trade by 2. And now Suzu has a resource advantage. Which, given how late we are in the set, that's gonna be big. Who's the nerd character? They're all nerd characters, but not Satan on the right is a librarian, so like probably him. Okay. And we're gonna dig down to main for Suzu, setting it off. We're deep enough into margin time where basically any good crosses are gonna hurt. And Suzu taking it to last round. No one said reformed. He's just not Satan. Just like there's a not Shezo. The PS2 version, I believe, has a not Arl. Legally distinct. Goes for the carpet clear cover. Blues are open, but Lee does not have that in her queue in sight. So we're going to have to see a little bit of dig work here. Actually opens it back up. RNG is still not there. And that's going to be set. GG's. Looks like Color Thief and Aeon are still going. So we're going to go ahead, report that, and get into our next set. Next available one. Oh. And that is going to be Blaster the Fox and Lee. Nitane really didn't want to make Sue. Also makes damage formerly just as rude. Yeah, kind of. Why did they opt to not have Chains Matter again? Because of people like you. No. Look, they just don't have the functionality that it would in Puyo. Mr. Ten Chains in Wario's Woods. You're not. He triggered the Mr. Driller command. Good pot. Yeah, I know. I'm the chaining dumbass. It happens. Alright, we have Lee and Blast the Flax up. Let's go! Can't focus on my shenanigans too much when we have a game to play.
I am back.
How did it go?
It's 2-0, but I tell you, by the last game, right? Like, I didn't die easily, and there were moments where one might be confused enough to think I had the advantage.
Interesting. Okay.
And there's no video evidence, so nobody can prove me wrong.
Okay. What is going on with connections tonight?
Oh no.
I would hate for something to happen like on an actual proper Puzzle Wednesday like this. This is nightmare material. Oh, did we seriously do it for player side? We really wanted the player one side.
Fair. And, foxes and dogs are kind of closely related, I guess, so...
I find that funny. It's Pochi and Nyaa, not Adam and Bees.
Okay, my goal for the night is to not get completely skunked. So, here's hoping I
It's
can
a
find
small
some
round
interesting
robin.
opponent.
Good luck.
Okay. Lee finally getting the cat.
Now sparks are gonna fly. Years 2000 XX match to decide if I RPS report priority. I don't know. Isn't there a game that kind of has something like that?
Is that a reference to, like...
Wait, pause,
I don't
pause,
know,
pause. Coin spam disables cursor movement, I discovered, so don't spam after the title. That's weird. Okay. I'm still kind of hung up on it. That's so strange.
Oh
Ooh.
my god, Lee's chain was just brutal. Considering that counter damage, dropping a 19 there was awesome.
It's the cat advantage.
Exactly.
I don't know how much Lee's eyeballing her next Q, because for as good a build as she's getting, she's kind of getting caught off guard by a couple of moves here and there that arguably shouldn't be the case.
I don't know. I don't think you play as well as she does, ignoring the next Q.
Ouch.
Yeah, this game's kind of hype. It's weird, but I'd say it's more approachable than Puyo.
Once you get past the certain hurdle of how damage actually does work, I can agree with that.
Oh, you just fork stuff. It
Yeah.
just immediately made sense to me. This is a T, and this is a W for Blaster Fox.
You've been sitting on that one for a couple minutes there?
No,
Dang, that was improv?
I have the power to just come up with content that good spontaneously. If
I
you
don't-
can imagine.
I don't think I can. That's Emi's job. So I feel like the biggest difference between how Blaster and Lee are playing is there's a lot more follow up on Blaster's side. It feels like all of his discards are at least feeding into bigger secondary attacks after the first go. So as long as he doesn't radically lose the first trade, he'll still have moves on the board.
Do you think Blaster waited for margin time there before activating?
Possibly.
Huh.
Gonna tank that hit. That's what I mean by build tall.
Yeah, because then you counter and then... Oh my god! The snipe!
Yeah, huh?
Wow. Point for Blaster. I believe in the power of the cat. I think Lee's gonna find a point.
But like building tall is kind of a defense mechanism in Puyo proper.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not weighed down by the fact that you can accidentally set off your moves like Puyo. So build your defense wall as tall as you want it to be. And you can snap back rounds just like we saw. Kind of ridiculous, honestly.
So Blaster's got that defensive tall formation on the right.
Seems to be the case. Reds are there just in case that he can't actually win out whatever initial trade.
My God, 73.
Yep. Good old 1-2 punch.
Puppies. What are you going to do with 73 puppies?
That's the question. Can anyone in chat answer that? Pet them, yes, correct. Good.
You know, I don't think you can pet the dog in this game.
What you can do is explode them.
So Lee had a very good timing to counter, but unfortunately it just wasn't big enough to offset all that damage.
Is it because that, like, the dog thing, or is it because this game doesn't reward chaining?
Yo, I like Kiat's answer. Have them carry me around like I'm Captain Olimar and they're my pigmen. That would rule.
Yeah, 82 is going to be hard to deal with.
Rodney's got the practical answer. Ask them to not block my trigger.
Alright, another 2-0. Getting a lot of 2-0s tonight.
Well, very interesting. Blaster revealing some real skill at this game. It's not his first time.
Good, because you're playing against Blaster next.
Oh god, it is my first time.
And,
Blaster... See, I'm away right now, so I can control this. I can just be the cat. And of course I want to be the cat, because cats rule.
I was going to say, I don't think they give any inherent advantage, but...
No, they definitely do.
Okay, got you. My bad. Alright.
Okay, you are in game.
Quick.
Character select, so let me know when you're good.
Yep, I'm in. I swear to God, I will ban your credit button.
Just making it rain.
Okay, so Color Thief actually has a couple good starting builds. We're seeing a little bit of chaff on the side with the yellow discards, but all you really need is two good smart pokes off of two primary color builds, and we got it. Committing to greens earlier, blues actually should still be pretty viable, and we only losing that trade by just a few. Blaster still has a bit more lined up in comparison, but can't count Color Thief out. Needs to discard the yellows now. And have to safely dig down to blues on Color Thief's side. Activating, and it's now open. Not committing to main move. We're seeing the extend. Okay. I can't blame him. He already has a bunch of pre-existing resources that he needs to beat out. But RNG is not there. There's no way he's going to be out 58 now.
Dang it.
So, you've said it about Wario's Woods, but your next cue should really inform a lot of your decision making. Okay.
Whoa, this game has real slippery dash.
It does. He didn't go to dog college, dang. I know you're talking about the character, but now it's canon that Color Thief did not go to dog college. Higher education that just eluded him. Okay, actually a really solid poke there. We're going to have to hope that Color Thief can come up with a good follow-up in time to not have those yellows accessible. Answer seems to be very soon. Are we greeting too hard? Goes for two-chain poke. Raise the yellows to open up. And Blaster not actually opting to set it off. Color Thief also not setting the moves off. So it's like lining up perfect hit confirm, only not to press a button. Okay. And there's the main attack. That's going to be 45 near top board. Blaster actually going to get to counter it back. Took too long, did not capitalize on that advantage. And while Color Thief's not dead, there's not a lot to go down to. Still gonna keep trying to live, still keeps getting put in the same situation. Keeps getting the same blue into red 2-chain. Oh.
Well, I hope that wasn't shameful.
No. I mean, I can't do mid-set coaching here, but we'll talk after this set. Goes for Bearded Ghostman as a character choice. Interesting.
I feel it's an underrepresented class.
So, like, I'm gonna go off on a bit of a lore tangent, but, this guy actually showed up in a proper Puyo spin-off material. Like, he is the one missing link. I need to actually double-check, where the official source is on that, but, like, I believe the Compile, fan Twitter account had something on it.
Dang, that did not resolve the way I thought it would.
Okay. Color Thief at kind of a disadvantage in terms of resources, but if we can just play this one move smart. Yeah, he's in a meadow.
Seriously, that's an even exchange? Now I have no...
I'm honestly surprised that was an even exchange, all things considered. He still has a lot more follow-up resources. But they're covered for now. And looks like we get main attack off. Little bits of follow-up here. And we're going to capitalize on that.
Dang.
Okay. Solid defense option off of... Oh. What the hell? Replay just kind of, died there, so I'm gonna have to hop right back. Oh, that's a good sound. And I guess... Oh. That was... You hate to see it. Fight Kid's being a nightmare tonight. We just had a good discretionary shot there. What happened was not meant to be seen by those faint of heart.
Wait, what? What?
Replay dropped for a second when you lost your round.
Oh.
So I had to restart really quick. This game looks like a lot of fun. Only play the arcade mode. It's not compared to the all-time great Senno, but like it opens up a little bit more once you can get an idea of like how real people play. AI is just a little too smart right out the gate.
I'm on the board. I did it. I'm so happy. Oh, I ranked in? What even is
No,
this?
no.
Blaster ranked in.
Yeah, he's not pressing continue. You have to tap your name in. There we go.
Yo, Beardman is strong.
Yep, that's totally it. But I feel like the biggest knock in this game's arcade mode is it doesn't actively give you a safe space to learn just like what good build styles are or how to like meaningfully win trades without getting supremely overwhelmed right out the gate. But game fun otherwise. Jeez, there's almost nothing for Color Thief to go down to. Doing a lot of one-row carpet clears.
Oh no. That's just not good for me.
Looks like it. We're down to 3 spaces open, and that's going to be it. One more round for Blaster to win. Actually liking a lot of Color Thief's decisions this time. We have a couple of solid forms to pick off for a good hit confirm. Reds are a little bit off kilter, but that still can be useful. No room to spawn to a 33, okay. So long as we can downstack here, there's room to take this back. That sounds like you didn't downstack. It looks like you didn't downstack.
Garbage is just brutal. I don't know how to deal with it.
Once you figure out like close quarters trainings, it will open up a lot more. But hey, welcome to Scoreboard. GG's. So it's 2-1 blast.
Thanks for going on easy on me, Blaster.
Next up is myself and AE.
Oh, let me just ping.
No, I can just go ahead and send the match on that one. It's a bit more direct, a little bit easier.
I mean, last time I pinged in Fightcade, it didn't work, but
Oh no, I just went straight for the challenge.
Sweet. It like accepted?
That
was the issue last time. It was just kind of hanging.
Okay, yeah, maybe do the ping after all.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Okay, it would be like this is a T. Every puzzle gamer's favorite letter.
Oh, this is good. Are you two both top seeds? I don't know. What'd you seed yourself in this tournament?
Yep.
2. Yeah. So this could be interesting. This might be theoretically it should be one of the top tier matchups of the evening.
Ping him in the Discord. Did that happen?
Yeah, I just pinged him in the Discord now.
Okay.
I think he must be multitasking.
Hmm. Okay. I believe...
Last time it was
there it is.
a good like 5-10 minutes before the ping got a response. So not ideal for streaming. So I don't know how we want to handle that. I don't think me versus Aeon, that's fine. Nobody needs to see that, but you versus Aeon, needs to see that. So.
Windows not popping up. Let's try that again. Fightcade's being Fightcade tonight.
So, dead time. Chat, y'all liking that Pedal Crash update? Assuming there's a large overlap between Pedal Crash players and mystery puzzle game players.
Pedal Crash good. I'm just learning that Stick is not for me anymore. And that's
if anyone watching is slightly less online than we are, the Pedal Crash update just dropped on Friday.
There we go. Okay.
Oh, sweet. You guys are starting up.
Yeah. I'm still bad at the puzzle mode. But I made it further. Alright, you in?
You don't? I'm in. So, I'm pretty good at puzzle modes in general, but Pedal Crash puzzle mode destroys my brain. It's legitimately difficult, I think. All right, Aeon going for the beard man. He knows what.
I'm just a Misty main because I really like this song the best.
Oh, I didn't know it changed the music. That's good to know. That's very important information, and I'm sad that you didn't tell me in advance.
I'm sorry, they're mapped to characters.
Interesting formation for Nyaa. Quite the deviation from the usual crosshatch.
No,
Going
like,
out with the poke.
he knows how to max out damage in this game, like, a lot, a lot.
And he knows how to poke enough to avoid. Oh, even exchange? No, wow. I can't even comprehend the levels of awesomeness happening. Juicy's got some yellow and then maybe some green options, sort of. Neon's got set up with green now. Wow. Lots of harassment back and forth, but Neon definitely has more options open here, and Neon knows that he's in an advantage and goes in for the kill there. Juicy really threatened by that column 4, needs to dig down, does not do it, and just gets poked to death. Oh, interesting. So I'm noticing Eon build the same like weird formation again. So it looks like a deliberate plan. Whatever it is, it's a very intentional way of stacking. That looks like a fumble, though. I think Aeon cashed in earlier than they wanted. And Juicy does have a lot more going on, so we'll see. We'll see if this translates into a win for Juicy. Even exchanges. It's a sustained board state here where neither player is really comfortable, and then lots of poking back and forth. So it's really cool seeing that happen in the puzzle game. Like that's the true mark of a good puzzle game is when there's never quite a fully stable moment. It's just chaos back and forth. All these exchanges and great countering from both players.
Oh, I think you got me. Dang.
Gotta respect that column 4.
Yeah. No, like the poking firm is on point.
Is it always player 1 music?
Yeah. I believe it's loser side. Puzzle Fighter does that too.
A both players going for a dual red-green, which I guess means they both successfully read that from the piece queue. But Aeon set both of them off, and then Juicy just set one of them off and then tanked. And considering the red is still open on his screen, that's not necessarily a bad move because he can keep extending it and going in for the kill. Oh hey, we have Suzu joining us on commentary.
Hello there.
Oh, hey.
I would love somebody who knows this game better than 5 credits worth to add some insight.
So far right now, I think Juicy looks like in a better position to get off some attacks while Aeon's trying to downstack over there, getting quick damage here and there, but Juicy still overall in a better position.
Oh man, that sequence of green, green, green really was like a gift to Juicy.
Now just gotta seal the deal there, and
Nice. Advantage Juicy. He might. He has an opportunity here to get on the scoreboard. When did you first play this game, Suzu?
I really like this interesting little yellow setup that Juicy has going on over there. That said, Aeon's defensive build looks a lot better at this moment.
Yeah, and the piece queue looks like it favors blue over yellow. So unfortunately, Juicy can't counter.
RNG is not kind. Nice quick harassment there from Aeon, but Juicy's still able to make some options out of this.
Reliant to just a blue trigger though, whereas Aeon has a green option as well. So I don't know if it's deliberate, but Aeon triggered the green, which was lower, and kept the tall blue in case they had to tank damage.
I think Aeon's doing a pretty good job actually screen watching, making sure to attack right before Juicy gets the proper triggers.
Wow, that chain literally added nothing.
All right. GG's. No, he's just super strong at the game. All right.
Hey, you got one win in there. Not a full point, but it made for good content.
That's the best we can hope
We are
for.
starting to get past the 2-0s.
I don't know what that means for like progression things because it's still a round robin. We're not narrowing down the higher levels. I think that might anything can kind of happen. Okay. Next up in our queue we have Blaster the Fox. Did we do Blaster Lee?
No.
Okay. I don't know why my brain thought we did.
You did Blaster Suzu.
Right. And then we did Lee Suzu. There was just a string where they all did matches back to back with each other. Okay. Then let's go ahead and get that one queued up. If someone can go... Excuse me, do the ping in the Discord? But yeah, like, everything about this game, the better you get is more smart tanking, paying close attention to your RNG, paying close attention to your opponent. One rough misplace can ruin your life forever.
Did we do them? I see you also pinged them in the Discord like half an hour ago.
That's...
Did you do it but not update the bracket somehow?
I don't wholesale remember.
Let's look at the Fightcade replays. Have these players played?
I want to say yes.
Yes, they did play for 6 minutes with 2 viewers. That looks pretty legit.
Yeah. I don't know how I didn't remember to report that then.
Oh, oops.
Suzu's getting food, so I guess that leaves you and me for right now. So, you know, we'll play a game, tell knock-knock jokes while it's happening, stuff like that.
Well, speaking of the Pedal Crash update that just launched, do you have anything interesting about Pedal Crash that you know?
That I know, secret-wise?
What? No, that you would perhaps like to share with the stream.
I'm
I'm winking.
I'm
I just can't hear it.
wink wonk. I mean, I suppose we're gonna be having Pedal Crash Online supposedly out before this month is over, which means we are primed up to have our first Pedal Crash bracket the first Wednesday of June. It's gonna be overtaking Puyo Fever's slot, shifting that game over here, but like, it's very, very rare that we get to be ground floor of new puzzle game competitive scene. And I'm really excited for that, you guys. It's going to be something.
Heck yeah.
If there's one thing I can have everyone do, it's peer pressure Uncle Moton to play Pedal Crash. He has did Warriors Woods here in chat. No, sorry, don't do that. We love you, Uncle Moton. But that is going to be the first Wednesday of June, 8:30 p.m. EDT, as we always do. And I think we might literally be the first out the gate on it. So, gosh dang, that's a weird feeling. Anyway, you good to go, dude?
Yeah, what? Oh, it's literally we're playing the match
Yeah.
with each other?
Yep.
Oh.
I should set
Yeah.
myself to.
I didn't realize that's what I thought when you said it was just us. I thought you meant as commentators, not.
It's going to be out by then. I mean, end of the month. This month, yes, I believe so.
If it's late, we can just make fun of Ashley. It's okay.
Oh no, that's rude.
He worked very hard to make us happy.
Sorry, I'm back. Do you want me to play my round?
Oh, no, it's us playing each other, actually.
If you want to say words over that one, is Juicy sticking the CFB on Uncle Moton? Yes, of course. No. I had read the Twitter post and when she had talked about like 1.1 being a thing on the horizon. It's like, hey, it's going to be this week, Pedal Crash Online this month. So, that's my take on it, and she is yet to correct me. And I hope that's not just being polite. I am fumbling my build something crazy, okay.
Yeah, I can't say I understand your build over here, so good choice discarding that.
It was some hot DAS nonsense.
I gotta say that blue drought was heinous.
Classic Puyo-esque garbage counter there.
Thank God, finally.
Man, I gotta say, doing live commentary with both of you here is kind of weird because I feel like I'm coaching in a way if I do that.
You just get used to it.
That's okay. We're living in the future. Anything you say is irrelevant.
Honestly, yeah, that's kind of why I don't feel bad about it, because every time I'm going to say something that's about 10 seconds irrelevant.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So just say your words.
But so far it looks like both of them are kind of relying on a red attack over there. No real defensive options going on at the moment.
That sounds like a burn.
I mean, say what you will.
I guess defensive-wise, you have Juicy has like a counter thing going on. As mentioned that he just likes building tall over here to get those counters out. But also, it doesn't mean much when the triggers get covered like that.
Is true.
Both of them relying on that red again. It looks like Color Thief has a secondary attack over here. Certainly not going to be enough to counter that, but can he down stack? Yeah. Juicy going for some big, long green over there. A Color Thief has two options to work with in case he gets buried out over there. And now both triggers are uncovered, so let's see how this one works out for him. this does that counter it? Not quite. Here we are back to neutral, neither of them really in a bad position at the moment. Neither of them having particularly strong structures either. Quick harassment's going to seal off Color Thief for a little bit from any sort of attacks, but quickly manages to dig that up. Alright, we have two long boys over here, so let's see how this plays out. Harass from Color Thief, but Juicy still finding a way to get out of that harass. Now has two possible trigger points to work with. Now depends on when they want to set off their main chains over here. Around 30 damage versus 100 damage, not going to quite cover that.
No, I didn't want to do that. Oops. Two chain dig time. Juicy just needs to find a way to seal this off before Color Thief digs back down, but Color Thief dug back down. So now the question is if Color Thief can seal this off well enough. Margin time sure is a powerful thing. At this point, even like very short little lines will deal a good amount of damage thanks to the margin time.
That's not bad for like 5 credits.
Thanks.
GG's, dude.
GG's. I'm happy. I'm not completely embarrassing. I took at least one, not a point, but a win in there, so I'm happy.
Did we remember what happened with the Nyaa Blaster Fox fight? I don't recall.
Yeah, they played for 6 minutes, so somebody got 2-0'd, and I'm willing to bet that Blaster Fox won.
Go ahead and ping that just because, like, I don't remember. So go get a confirmation in the Discord. And I'm going to have Suzu and AE up next. Alright. Yeah, in spite of a little bit of a bumpy start, we're getting good flow with this. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's just super weird. Also, the only game I can think of other than like single player Warriors Woods that has a 7-wide board. A lot of bizarre choices with that one. Okay, Blaster Fox 2-0. Cool. That means we're up to date on scores. Good, good.
I have pinged and challenged Aeon, just waiting on that now.
Okay. Oh, I didn't even see Moose rated us with a party of 19 a while back. Oops, thank you. I get so lost in all the management that you miss things like that.
Yeah, Lee just confirmed Blast did win that set 2-0.
I updated score accordingly.
Wonderful.
All right. I am in.
Okay. And I know I sold Juicy Aeon as the ultimate set, but Suzu sounds like she knows this game better than Juicy.
Ouch, dude.
So I'm pretty hyped to see what happens here in this exchange.
Okay. We're already seeing a few more just efficient stacking from Aeon's side. And good follow-up hit that's already capitalized on. Suzu has a good way to dig back down.
I'm curious if perhaps Aeon's the only player good enough to both build out some good damage formations and also screen watch to just time those mid-sized pokes enough to, destabilize your opponent. Because a lot of these games have kind of flowed that way, right? Where one player starts some good stuff getting set up, and then Aeon just comes in and smacks with a meaty, hefty, mid-sized poke.
Yeah. This also kind of has the puzzle fire thing where, like, if you were down on resources, it's always going to be a liability. Even with Suzu this far up on the board, the fact that he has, like, 6, 7, 8 active pieces right now is bad.
Right, so if you don't get the kill, then anything can happen.
Yep, and we're already seeing Suzu have access back down to greens that just, for better or for worse, kind of happen like that.
But now they're pretty even on material at this point.
He knows how to make a good hit out of very little space, but it's super risky to even put yourself in that sort of position.
Ooh. Lots of garbage, but not quite enough to block that trigger.
Yeah. The counter's gonna seal it. Yeah. There's a little too long in some of the considerations that's giving a significant speed advantage here. Reds are far more finished and far more painful at this point. On top of just having more pieces on the board. Like, even if they're sloppy, having more resources is never a bad thing. The only real bad play in this is to, like, pretend that it's Puzzle Fighter and go for clusters. It's arguably the one wrong decision you can do.
I mean, wouldn't it be worse to, build a GTR?
No! It would not.
No? Really? Wouldn't the GTR, do nothing?
So, clusters ignore the added step between splits. So if you get a cluster, you can just get a bunch of ones. Because there's no significant break. It's just one in every direction.
But if you've got a tiny little chain, right? It's not gonna do anything.
It still might do more than 6 pieces bunched up together in the same spot.
True.
You just super do not want to make anything that is literally piece adjacent more than a 2x3 wide. Then that's actively wasted resources. Actually caught Eon with a little bit of a gap in his build there. We're going to 2-chain dig down into it. Really solid. He's now...
Triggers turning into garbage is just rude.
You could argue that's just an overcorrection for not wanting another Puyo 2 on his hands. Also, it just stops free counterplay all the time. Oh, that's gonna be it. One more round for AE. Okay. Suzu actually with the lead poke on that.
Exchange. Yeah, and now a follow-up.
Arguably, it's not much of an exchange if, he didn't respond. It should be easy to access right wall, which he did in one move. And are we going to see the counter into it? No. Deciding to use a garbage chain into reds.
It was a pretty nice garbage chain into reds, though. Opened up a lot of space on the board.
I'm sure you're starting to see what the actual flow of this game is, and it's tactically tanking hits. If you can dig chain, if you can brush off a little damage and get back down to where you originally were, that is so much better than actually winning out in exchange.
And the magnification of the forking and stuff as well means extending is really rewarded, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you can tank a hit and still extend your chain and then attack even harder than your opponent attacked you, that's really good.
Yeah. We're going for a lot of little pokes here. A knows that Zeus is a top board, and that's going to be it.
Well, GG's.
Alright. Living in...
Someone's got to take a point off of Eon. We can't let him do this. The three of us have already gone up against him, though.
Look, this used to be somewhat more regular in our rotation. He grinds it in his off time. He's good. I got... Actually, Suzu staying on the hot seat. It's myself and Suzu this round. Okay.
So far, I'm the only non 2-0 in the whole bracket.
There has to be. In a six-person thing, there has to be one.
Wouldn't expect such a like obscure game to be like firmly rank ordered by skill level.
I don't know. Because you only have to put in that extra little bit of time and dedication to, like, get that level up there, you know?
But for everything to be 2-0s, then we all have to be like definitively better than the other player.
Get yourself into the lobby. I don't see that eyeball.
Good point. I didn't realize you guys had started up. Okay.
Look, it was 2-0, but it was close. That's Mystery Weeks.
Okay. Juicy chose cats, but we'll see what Suzu can do with these dogs. They're good dogs. Both reading the randomizer and building up greens. Suzu setting hers off for some harass. Decent harass. We'll see if Juicy can recover and then extend. But Juicy greeting out. I don't know if I agree with that. Suzu with the flat board and Juicy just not activating his. Oh, there he goes. Okay, 57. Oh, a bunch of counters back and forth. Not bad. And the cat just might be out of the bag here. Yes. Yes.
You having some good fun tonight?
I'm trying. Weird early piece sequence. Juicy decides to just cash it in and start over. Blue's certainly coming into shape on Juicy screen. Juicy's definitely trying to do a one-hit kill here. Over 100 cats. Wow.
I think you're pissing off SMB.
I am?
Probably
Oops.
puns.
Look, your complaints only make me stronger. It's me. I don't think Suzu's gonna be skunked. I think she's gonna let the dog out. A pretty clean exchange there, and then both players having a solid foundation of reds. Zoshi and Itsumi's just mad at me for saying the cat's out of the bag. Nice, clean exchanges. Very, very interesting. Usually Suzu's come out a bit on top, though. Suzu pushing for that extra kill. Oh, but Juicy digs through and finds his main clear. Neither player in a great spot, but Juicy with a lot more easily accessible material to work with. Well, it's a good thing for Suzu. Juicy's material was mostly unconnected, and the entire left side of his board is kind of unusable. Oh. Wow. That was a fight. A bitter fight to the end. Juicy has a little more forking going on. Both players building yellow-red formations. Suzu poking quite effectively and shutting out Juicy's access to yellow there. And that follow-up poke closes off the red. As long as the game doesn't drought blue too badly, Suzu just might have this one. Unfortunately, as soon as I said that, the game decided blues weren't very important. And things evened out a bit.
Commentator's curse.
Yep. Ooh, Juicy digs down to his main red formation. Suzu dangerously close to the top, and then gets
GG's.
poked over the edge.
GG's.
Some good back and forths there.
Alright, we have Eon and Blaster the Fox. Finally getting into the end momentum of our round robin here. I like how Rodney just showed up in the lobby. It's not even entered in bracket tonight. Is spectating in-app considered like front row seating? I saw SMB was trying to set up gambling again on my channel. Did no one chip into the pot that time?
I don't even know how that stuff works.
Oh no, we're
just
we're
dropped
getting the
points
player
from
one, player
blind
two
into
side
prediction.
requests. Lee has created a bias now.
Hey, I'm telling you, the cats are OP.
I mean, for me, either one works. Both are
I'm a
good in.
dog person here.
I I am both. I adopted a cat like 4 years ago, and that's changed a lot. But really, both. All right, we're in there. Let's go. Please, no more credits. I also like how the damage queue just literally has the 90s radical swirl. More games need that. Completely wholesale.
I'm like, what on earth do you mean? And then I look up and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, exactly, right? Alright. The other real thing that's strong about playing fast is you can start counting cards and be like, ah, you know what I haven't had a long time? Yellows. You know what my opponent probably doesn't have right now? Yellows. Let's do something about that. Speed advantage gives you a lot of time to consider your advantage state in the RNG. And I don't know how many games actually really give you that experience other than playing Dan Puzzle Fighter. I suppose Puyo. But Puyo gives you like every experience, so we're kind of in a little bit of a weird place with Blaster's Reds. Seems like even in the
color red.
Yeah, even in like his vanilla builds, he sometimes lumps pieces like in corners near each other, and that's kind of what you want to avoid.
Well, he's all in on these reds.
Oh yeah, and it's not like terrible, but it definitely kneecaps your potential to actually win out a trade. Like, if there wasn't sort of a corner conflict with that, he might have come a lot closer instead of, like, eating half board. Okay, this might be slight advantage for Blaster, just because we have a counter on right wall.
Yeah, there's a lot of material on board right now. Ooh, I don't like how those greens connected up though.
Yeah, huh? It's not the greatest. Especially given how AE's left wall is now super open. Positioning too to just like absolutely add any splits that he wants. Like that one. And nothing else.
Ooh. That looks pretty nice though.
Oh.
That's
Oh, we got the hit confirmed,
Very
KO.
nice.
Let's go.
very nice.
Alright. Yeah, see, there it is again, where sometimes pieces are just placed right next to each other. How good that is can range from okay to disastrous. Okay, blues are blocked off on Blaster's side, and yeah, using follow-up good. All we need is reds to confirm. Actually managed to get a dig chain off and negate some of top board danger. And blues are now open. Not
And then Blaster immediately cashing in the blues. With so many blues in the next queue, I think I would have tried to extend a little more. But what do I know?
I mean, enough. It's one of those things like, it's so risky to just not go back to extending off of the moment that you can, like, open up a move again. It's something that, like, feels fantastic. Your brain's like, nah, I've been working to get down here. It's my turn. No, it's not always. Alright.
Oh, first point for Aeon. Did you know they ran out of budget and couldn't color the bear?
No, it's just supposed to be white.
White bear, okay. Is it a polar bear?
I don't know. Play the
He's
PS2
just a
port.
bear.
It's just a bear.
The PS2 port has more story.
Ooh, that center column's dangerous. Okay, Blaster figures it.
It's actually putting the blues in a much better position to be extended off of. And immediately blocked. Never mind. So, like, the best route for damage optimization is to literally build it all 7 columns across the board at some point. And we're not seeing a lot of that other than, like, Aeon side, but if you can secure across the board, if you can secure a U shape, you're gonna win by like 5-6 times what you need it to be. That is generally the optimal shape.
So, Aeon's gonna get the big square gem soon.
That might not be so hot. Even he's kind of slowed down. I'm thinking he's trying to reconsider his routing. Nope, we're just going to burn it at a good open moment.
It worked.
I mean,
There was enough yellow there to kill, though. I guess that's one
yeah.
thing.
It's not so much like it's a bad move, but for the amount that you're using for it, eh.
Really, the greed extend. Huh. Okay. Blaster on the ropes here. Aeon pushing for that 2-0. Let's make it a close one.
I would not mind appropriating the 0-2 but close in a more slightly wholesome way. Yeah, I can't tell if like he's just not trusting his rotation buttons right, or like going too fast given how weird the dash is, but there's just been a lot of clustering together what seems to be supposed to be like a crosshatch pattern on Blaster's side.
Well, that was a healthy exchange. Margin time ramping up. It was pretty even, but then Aeon managed to connect a very nice train of reds. Oh, that harass was pretty good at shutting it down, though. Unlike the opening stacking formation, this train of reds was very horizontal and vulnerable to a damage spread.
The only
But Aeon finds it.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only real problem was like Blaster spent a lot of resources just to do that. No matter how cool and effective your moves are, if you spend too much resources doing it, it's gonna snap back kind of hard.
Very puzzle fighter-esque stacking from Blaster here. very protective of that column 4. And it's keeping him in the game, but he's going to have a tough go of things. Well, GG's.
All right. Blaster tried to tried to 2 and got punished. All right, SMB.
Brackets
You know I
filling out
love
here.
you, but you should also know that I keep doing things for the sake of not doing them right. So this isn't the gotcha you think it is. Anyway,
I see Blaster and Aeon still in game. Are they having a run back?
I wouldn't know why.
Oh wait, you know what?
What?
I challenged Yankoli,
Yeah.
but you know what? I'll take myself out of a way, and she can challenge me. I'll let her have the cat.
Aw. Nice.
Gotta go for that cat port priority.
Hmm. I feel she's earned it more than I have. You know, I'm not Nyan Thief.
You could be.
True.
This game was made specifically to Atmos, you know? It's not incorrect. There's not... Just like with Puzzle Fighter, just like with Wario's Woods, just like with all of this, it's not that chaining is a bad idea. It's just not gonna be the end-all, be-all like Puyo makes it.
Like, I definitely feel like there's some sort of benefit to staggering out your garbage with the chains in this game.
Mm-hmm. But it's just another tool in the kit versus the core focus. And, like, that's how I view Puzzle Fighter, too. Even if I'm going to swear to God I'm going to get that 10 chain and match, it is a tool in the kit. You can't make it the focus, otherwise you will end up like me in bracket sometimes.
Okay, challenge came through. Lee's got her cats. I'll try to make the doggos work,
Okay.
but no promises.
How noble of you. Honestly, at this point, I'd like you to just at Mooney Tanya on his Twitter about why he made this game this way. How, like,
What?
2 decades later. Something to my core just finds that concept radically amusing. Yep, gotta update names really quick. And there we are. This is a cross, and I am very cross with you. Go back and make Pochi and Nyaa but better, please. Anyway, we actually have a pretty mirrored setup here. The only thing that Lee's doing a little bit different is she's starting to stack up her sides a little bit preemptively. That is going to leave her reliant on double pieces to start extending that form. Where Color Thief's a little bit more free to just add gaps in the side when need be. Oh, manages to win that out by 5. Okay. CT splitting too much, trying to be optimal. I honestly, at that point, I kind of disagree because like he still kept his build open to pivoting whatever he was going to be doing in case of emergency. It wasn't
Yeah,
like
so
a
the
huge
difference
reward, but
in like what was going on there is that CT still had like a secondary attack option.
I mean, just to put it in standard competitive terms, Lee's build was super overcommitted. You don't want to create your structures with your extensions on the side, just because you're going to start need to either rely on splits, which is going to slow you down a lot, or double pieces, which aren't going to happen all that often. It was the same idea, just executed a little bit more efficiently on Color Thief side.
Well, that merge in time really. I still don't have much of a sense of what the margin time is going to be doing to my attacks, but it can be very powerful.
I mean, we'll say it openly. Pochi and Nyaa margin time's kind of fucky. Just is.
Hurry up!
Split's not split. Oh. I hate that that's actually the proper term for what all of these splitting pieces. Okay, yeah. I mean, CT, and at least in that build, we're going to keep talking about CT's round 1 build instead of where we are in the match now. But it's okay, it's for theory reasons. And because if you build your center tall, you can start doing 2 color pieces and make the gaps yourself without having to demand splits. But anyway, back to real match. Small poke from Color Thief. Is this how we get Color Thief into playing Puyo? Because, like, a lot of the ideas stack. Oh, no I didn't. That's because I had my player side wrong. Ha 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 ha. I had you all fooled by being bad.
After we
Oh,
made such
man.
a big deal about Nyanko Lee having the cat.
Oh, you can't actually see the fight cade names? Dang.
I'm banking on margin time saving my ass here.
If you want to go for max damage, you need a U-shape. One wall with like next to no splits, one wall with entirely splits. Alright, Color Thief taking point.
Big bro. These are brothers? And we're making them fight?
Okay. Yeah. So now that we have our player sides right, we're seeing a little bit more efficiency on Color Thief's. Basically, same take. Lee's extending the reds a little bit wider. but using a lot of the single pieces to stack up column 2 really high and then work on the split secondary. Strong second link. Call of Duty's only going to win that by 15. Okay. Good follow-up. They're both nearly attacking at the same time, but Call of Duty's just consistently winning trades. Okay, yellow clusters are going to be a little bit not the greatest option for lead out to dig back down to. Because we already have a massive green on Color Thief's side. Not even going to greed for it. We get one last piece extend. That's still going to win out by nearly 100. And that's going to be round. Yeah, like I dare say it, Color Thief's got this game, like, down. The decision making is there now. The only thing that can really be a little bit more in place is speed and efficacy of screen watching.
Oops.
We're seeing a few more options on Lee's side, given how better the yellow discards have been. Little 2-chain poke. Yellow poke's actually going to open up blues again on Color Thief, giving him 2 viable attacks. And I have the chance to set both of those off at once. Goes with reds. Going to significantly win that. And, oh. Okay, that's it. GG's. Okay, then we're getting down to, I believe, our last 3. I'm up against Blaster. We have, what is it? After that, Suzu and Color Thief and Lee and AE. Alright. Just going down the line then. Okay.
How could you get the labeling wrong on that match? Of course, Lee.
It always
beyond
happens
Lee
once.
is the cats. You know, like you see the cats, it's gonna be Lee.
We always get one. Taking a second to actually connect here. What's going on? There we go. Just let me know when you guys are in.
I'm in.
Oh, right. Credit hell.
I tell you what, Puzzle Wednesday is loaded.
I am gonna put a ban on the credit button. That's just how it is now.
Imagine spending this much quarters on this game.
Like $25? It would probably take you all day to go through that. Still cheaper than a movie.
And longer than a movie, too, so...
Yeah, exactly. Extremely high value. Interesting. Juicy has a dense formation here, keeping lots of color options open. He basically built into a poke with options to extend the aftermath. Blaster's got the Omega Tower of dogs. Juicy's building the same Omega Tower of dogs, and he sets his off first. The screen shake, it totally looks like the cats are like teabagging the dogs. Lots of material from both players. Pretty neutral exchange. I feel Blaster cashed in a lot of material without getting quite the impact he was hoping for. Juicy has a nice red formation set up, but he's in the uncomfortable position of needing to like stack in column 4 to extend it. So he's not taking any chances. He cashes it in right away. But it was not enough. He tanks a hit. Blaster looks like he just might go in for the kill here. Juicy's digging frantically. Blaster can just find the blues he needs. Oh. Never mind. Juicy tried to dig in the center and...
Sometimes the rotate button just doesn't want to work with you.
Yeah. The controls are pretty slippery in this game. They seem like well-tuned. Like, once you're used to them, they're probably incredible. But,
Now they feel pretty slippery.
yeah.
Just almost always.
Well, it's all a matter of perspective, right? Like, I played some guideline Tetris last night for the first time in forever. Like, JS and Tetris, and those games just feel like butter. Like, no controlling them. Or I couldn't control them. But I can pick up, like, Tetris 99 or something, and it's no big deal. Wow. Big green setups on both sides. Is that slightly bigger? Yeah, slightly bigger. Juicy wins the exchange by 7, and then Blaster cashes in a little train to offset the last bit. Juicy winning on material, but we'll see what this translates to. That lands a pretty solid hit. Blaster's got a good formation to dig into a very solid red chain, though. Juicy maintains enough pressure that he couldn't quite pull it together, though. Oh, Blaster always
Very good attack.
Yeah. Like, Blaster just needed a moment longer and he would have activated those reds. Game 3. Interesting watching very similar stacking from both players. Very tiny poke.
Pretty good, solid builds here from both ends.
Mm-hmm. As long as Juicy does not connect the greens, bridging them would be disastrous at this point. Okay, good. Ah. So that exchange definitely puts Juicy in the lead for material. As long as he doesn't get droughted with blues, he might turn it into a more decisive lead. Juicy gets the blues a bit too late. Tanked some damage. Finds a blue trigger. And Blaster's so high on the screen, that is going to be lethal. Juicy.
I like how her win quote, if you beat him, reasserts that he's a polar bear then.
Wait, how's it referenced?
No, she's, her star is like, are you a polar bear? And then if you win as Misty, he's like, yeah, you're a polar bear, alright. It's dumb and pointless, but I kinda love it.
Well, if there's anything I know about polar bears, it's that they lose at puzzle games, right?
Yep,
That's...
confirmed.
Oh, weird chain formation from Juicy. Unafraid to use the full width of his board. I'm not feeling good about his ability to save a trigger point, though, if Blaster chooses to harass. And here it comes.
Very, very good timing on that when Juicy had no way to counter that.
Mm-hmm. This is real nasty. Blaster went all in, but all of his resources cashed in was enough to take the win. Both players stacking up some good resources there. Juicy, less of a poke and more of a cleanup, it seemed, on his side. Whoa, Juicy was kind of greedy there. Now, I guess he wanted to tank the damage and then set up the kill. That's my guess as to his thinking there.
That's exactly what that was. And with that, that seals that off.
Very cool. Okay. Not something I would have thought of, but very cool to see it in action.
A very Puyo Puyo-esque counter strategy.
I like this formation Juicy's doing, where you just make a super long formation with a single fork at the end.
I mean, it
this
looks
is gonna
neat,
hit hard.
but also Juicy only has one color to work with.
That is true. But all of these garbage hits that he's tanked aren't really going to do a whole lot to him. I'm surprised he's still standing. He wants to get a kill. He's, I guess, realizing that with only one option, it has to be decisive.
There is nothing to counter that.
Oh. Okay. It was decisive.
Alright, GG's.
Cool. They call them chains. I almost think they should be called trains.
Okay.
Well, chains is so overloaded in the puzzle game scene. You know what I mean?
I mean, I suppose. Links?
No, trains.
Tra- oh, okay. I mean, I
How to
don't.
build a train.
I don't know how many people are out there making Pochi and Nyaa tech names, so I can't really deprive you to do that either if you want.
Hmm.
Anyway, we
Just
have another
keep your eye
comment.
out for my Thomas the Tank Engine ROM hack.
Please, no. Anyway, we have surprisingly a second commentator versus commentator set. We have Color Thief and Suzu.
Sweet. Okay. Go easy on me, Suzu. Take time.
Dude, you've been doing pretty good for like again, just getting into it now.
Color Thief's got that puzzle osmosis.
Once
I don't play a lot of versus puzzlers though, so I don't know. Thank you. I will take the compliment.
exactly.
Do you want cat? No, Suzu's a dog person, so this is the ideal matchup.
The one true
I get to
matchup.
main my cats, she can main her dogs.
No, it's gonna be a vicious fight as to whether SMB or Circine will name things. I feel like SMB has the edge. Honestly. But yeah, no, for day one Pochi, Color Thief's been doing pretty solid. Please do not fight each other. Anyway, a relatively mirrored start here. Color Thief discarding a little close to the wall.
That was a mistake.
Dang.
I mean, that was an advanced strat.
Yeah, okay. Whichever. Gonna see... Yeah, just for piece by piece of what's on the board, Suzu has a bit more options. We can see a little bit of where, like, Color Thief can go with here. We have a blue into red chain potential setup. But if he's gonna gain any meaningful advantage here, it's gonna be through counterplay. Because Zuzu's just doing too consistently, too fast to not have a very commanding lead.
Ow.
Yeah, that seems like pain. Also, do I have to, like, ban all of my mods again? Can't take you guys anywhere. Color Thief opting to take the double yellows in column 2 to try and potentially max out damage. It's going to create a little bit of problems trying to build the counter form, but arguably it's not late enough in the game for that to matter. We have another double yellow to fix up that mistake without much lost time.
Oh, slippery. Oh my god.
Okay, so real question. What has more finicky Das, this or Senno? Answer after the set. Oh, dang. Okay.
Senno's like perfect in every way.
Got it. Right.
You just need a big enough brain to take it all in.
Asking the wrong person. Got it.
Oh man, I need to do anything and they never give me better colors game.
Oh no. Why did CT dump into column 7 with garbage incoming? Yeah, that's a good question. In his defense, he doesn't play Puyo Lights.
Yeah, I don't have Puyo fundamentals.
Suzu taking first point.
Clearly, I picked the wrong character.
Puzzle Wednesday, not talk about Senno every night challenge. I mean, I can do that just fine.
The people need to know Senno, you know?
No. I don't. Alright, I'll take the not talking about Senno challenge. Color Thief going for the rush and gets slightly, ever so slightly punished for it. Only thing that might be a little bit problematic is Suzu's left wall counter is kind of negated by the fact that column 2 is not open at all. So she's going to need to do a damage clear to be able to do that. Nope. Just burns the entire form. Goes off main attack, and that's going to cover Color Thief. But we're going to do the constant Pochi and Nyaa paradigm here. That's a lot of spent resources just for Color Thief to manage to be able to reach it in 3 moves. And now he has a very open counter for him. Freedom to extend it with splits however he wants. Goes for main chain. We got a split right at the end. And we might see Color Thief with a rat. Oh, there we go! We could make him into a versus puzzler yet. You want people to read, like, our mystery just how strong your form is, just only have, like, a single split at the end. It looks so inconspicuous, but it will mask just how powerful your move is. The end really is all that matters. The best thing you can kind of do with garbage in this game is try and actually cover off the good trigger points and force them to break it wrong. Gonna see chain form from Color Thief, and actually gonna win this trade. Red wall's relatively free to extend off of. We have blue as a potential harass setup. Burns it, and we're safe to keep extending. Honestly, Color Thief has 2 different extension points right now. So long as they don't wholesale loop. Avoids it very, very carefully. Gonna have to set it off soon. Looks like Suzu has a move. We're gonna tank damage. Was that the right call? No. Would have been better to extend column 4, let 1-2 be the split. Yeah. Like, the risk-reward factor is entirely different compared to any match colors versus game. Committing to the entire yellow form, it's not that strong yet, so we're going to burn down column 5 and potentially see some extents on Color Thief's side. Burns the reds. And looks like we're going to column 4 to extend yellows. Maybe. Nope. Have blue, have yellow. Not a lot of splits on either. Committing to 1, and it looks like we might be able to full board the blues on Color Thief's side. Nope, just going for the follow-up. It might be enough, and we see Color Thief on scoreboard.
On the board, baby!
Ready, go. Suzu going with yellow as primary attack with a red counter. Only thing I can kind of disagree with is generally she seems to keep her main trigger point at the counter at the same height as the adjacent column. Oh, we're going to actually link it around. That's interesting. Okay. She has a couple good moves in toes. Burning the reds, it's not going to affect the yellows at all, while also giving Color Thief some trouble. Color Thief opting for not a lot of splits to potentially, I suppose, keep the core of the attack stable while spending another, and fishing for links later, if at all. Okay, I see it. We're just doing the slight link at the end. Let's go trade session. Like, Color Thief still loses that by a decent chunk, but we had more than one round in that tennis match. Kind of contemplating what to do with greens, and Suzu actually has a couple of good pokes lined up at top board. Reds are going to be significant, and we're going to 2-chain into that. That might just be enough. Discarding in center row is never advised. Alright. Call of Duty kind of going with the good rule of thumb that whatever double color you get first, really good idea to make that your counter build. It's going to be a low strong, so there needs to be some dig chain in place. But oh! Garbage counters that really well, and now greens are back open. Not going to extend, though. Yellow form, building back into a counter, actually. Burn slight reds. There's main move. 42 is not that strong, given positioning, but hey, whatever. Goes for follow-up. There's no real strong follow-ups on CT's board, but if we just keep pressing buttons, things can happen. Double yellows are actually going to be probably a good route here. Building that back into a counter. Alright, Suzu's actually making her way back down, so... Time to fumble around and do single clears is kind of done. Good blue cross, actually still going to be open. Color Thief blocking it back off. What are we going for here? Oh, that's going to be getting kind of risky. And greens are open again. Blocks them. Oh, into a 2-chain. Okay. I mean, the reward's not great enough. Suzu's just kind of putting down moves. And that is going to be more than enough. Like, that was a 12 cross that ended up being like 54. And Suzu taking it 2-1.
God, I love margin time.
Once you internalize this is the moment that I can just turn my brain off and keep pressing that attack button, yeah, no, fantastic. And that's going to put us into our last match of the night, AE and Yanko. So if I can get that queued up, and we can move forward. Real question, is Lee going to get player one side?
It would be rude to do anything else.
We shall see.
Shoutouts that we still have 4 people queued in the Send No lobby.
Yeah.
That game.
I tried to get the Argentinian Fight Kid community in on it.
Oh,
It didn't click immediately for them,
no.
but they humored me with a good 30 minutes of games.
Lee is player two side.
Oh, I'm sad. Cat people don't get no respect.
Please, you need to be stopped.
Can't get no satisfaction. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, she does this just all the goddamn time. Always and forever.
See, the thing is, I'm not only mad that that pun was made, I'm also mad I didn't make it.
You two would bounce off of each other well. One day there's just going to be a commentary for Warriors Woods. It's YouTube getting mad at each other for dumb lines that you keep saying.
Oh, yeah, but I don't know if we can keep that family appropriate. Who wants to hear a bunch of puns about wood?
Please stop. Alright, blue trigger open on Aeon's side. Are we going for the extend? Actually have a really interesting form. He's having to very carefully avoid any color conflicts.
You're right, it's me. We should commentate Pack Attack. The true, lawful, neutral puzzle game.
Puzzle Wednesday special. I feel like we're trying to see A go for a max out move here. As best as possible. And...
But
I mean...
you can't BM Lee like that. She'll punish you.
Yeah. Look, if you're gonna disrespect like someone like that, you get paid for it. That's why I don't win puzzle fighter tournaments. It's okay, I deserve it. We're gonna see.
Can you say that again, but in Money Puzzle Exchanger voice?
Oh, money puzzle exchanger voice. What does that even imply?
Where you're talking about someone paying.
You have to pay the money.
Ah, yes, of course. Might be. Talk English. I don't know if I can do that one. Okay, a lot. Red counter is really strong there, mostly because adjacent columns are in place to tank any hits. And I think we're going for that U-shaped setup.
Dang. That
A's
is
just
quite
fishing
the
for
red
real max
combination.
out damage. I'll surely get soccer in next time. We have a slight conflict on an extend here. Now we're looking for, if this is indeed his game plan, we're looking for that green. Nope, just going to set it out this time. Decided losing was not worth it.
Yeah, this game is really playable. I don't know why more people don't talk about it.
More people don't know it exists.
I mean, it has a PS2 port and everything.
I
Even
don't.
Munitani doesn't like talking about this.
Really?
Yeah, he's more willing to talk about Puyo now than this game.
Really? So, like, what's the context on that? You're saying there were, like, interviews and he's just, like, not comfortable answering questions about it?
I actually don't know on that one.
I don't think there's anything to be embarrassed about here.
I mean, yeah, same.
I wonder if he just feels bad because he made the game and the company, like, went bankrupt. Oh, how cruel to die with so many cats on your screen.
Okay. We're seeing the decision to just completely pivot once we realized there was no extendable position for Aeon to go that wouldn't color conflict.
Oh, interesting. Missing those thing. He's embarrassed about punishing players for making chains.
I don't
That's
know if
one of
that's
the
just a
things I
missing
like the
noism.
most about this game.
You see, he would be embarrassed about that if he didn't pull the same thing later.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know. I don't know if you're inserting your own feelings onto that one. All right, first set A.
Is that the 3DS game you're referencing, Suzu?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the 3DS one does the same exact thing, though I have not actually got to play it myself.
I was quite sad it never. It looked for a moment like it was going to get an international release or something, and that just never happened.
Projection, that's what they play movies on. Though I suppose in this day and age we can make a movies joke. Like, who knows what those are?
Aren't those like video games that aren't interactive and are really short, but you still pay a lot of money for them?
Something like that. What puzzle game should get a movie adaptation?
Well, this game, imagine it would be 3D CG with talking animals. That's all you need.
We do have a Tetris film coming out.
A documentary one, you mean?
Still film.
True.
Oh,
Wow.
Lee actually has a little bit of advantage here.
260!
Hello from the future, you two. There it is. Yep, that is 260.
That no movie. Oh my god. It's just like 2 hours of like brainwashing. Oh, it's Moton. How's it going, Moton? Hope you're having a good Saturday.
We like Uncle Moton. You know, if there was a game to have a movie, it would be Money Idol Exchanger.
Unironically, yes. That for a serious answer, that's a pretty good answer.
Both in terms of like watchability and also it may have been in the works at some point. Don't put it past Face.
There is a very good chance there's an OVA buried somewhere.
I doubt nothing at this point.
Interesting watching Jan play, because Lee had a pretty hefty like garbage attack, but Aeon basically paused for a moment to consider how much garbage was about to drop, and then decided that tanking it wouldn't be such a bad idea.
That's also definitely a Puyoism. There's still a lot of Puyo DNA in this game, it's just not one for one.
I love how this basically confirms like what's essential about Puyo is not the chains but the garbage countering system.
I mean, it's the overall moment-to-moment decision-making. There is a reason it gets a lot of parallels to fighting games. Alright, and that's a wrap. Aeon very obviously taking bracket with an entire 2-0 sweep. Which, congratulations, GG's.
Yeah,
Very strong for
like to
it.
extend a personal thanks to Aeon for coming here. It's nice to see some higher level play with these mystery games. You don't always find people who know what they're doing, but you really know your stuff. I enjoyed watching all your games, so thank you.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up bracket, and we will do, since we have such a small group tonight, a little recap on how everyone did. Pochi, yeah, no, I thought that may as well be a fun little workaround to not getting the character that we wanted. Or, I guess, the tile set that we wanted. So, bringing up in bottom of bracket, we have 1W, 4Ls, Nyaa Lee. Suzu with the same, but with the tiebreaker at 5th place. Oh, we have 3 distinct 1-4s, with Color Thief leading up the 4th place tiebreaker at also 1 and 4. Blaster Fox 3rd place with 3 and 2. Myself at 2nd at 4 and 1, and the 5-0 sweep. GTAE. GG's. We do have another mystery bracket coming up this coming Wednesday. 8:30 p.m. EDT, we have Sega Tetris, which, if you have not seen the Versus mode for that, I highly advise it. It's kind of the most bonkers thing in the world outside of, like, Magical Tetris Challenge featuring Mickey Mouse, which may happen someday, too. And I believe that's actually it for the slate of announcements. We are going to be keeping this as a bi-weekly. The first Saturday of the month is going to be alternating on a bi-monthly basis. Puyo Fever, now that it no longer has the first Wednesday slot, and NES Wario's Woods, because can't let that hotness drop. But thank you so much for coming out tonight, guys, and we will catch you next time.